and healthier children's menus. Let's bring in our company, Jedediah Bila, Alicia Menendez, and Robert Trainham. Okay, Alicia, the First Lady isn't going so far as to call for taxes on unhealthy food, but what about people who say, you know what, it's not her place to try to be the food police?
I don't think she's trying to be the food police. I think she's trying to give us some direction towards being a healthier America. You know, in our last segment, we were talking about the deficit. One of the key drivers of that is our healthcare system, and a big part of that is how unhealthy Americans can be. And so one of the ways we can get at what is, you know, a topic we talk about all the time, which is bringing down our deficit, is to begin leading lives. And I think for her to lead the way on that, that's fine. That's great. Yeah,
let me show you, Jedediah. In a speech to the National Restaurant Association, their research showed that kids' menus, 90% include mac and cheese, 80% chicken fingers, 60 burgers and cheeseburgers. Look, we look at our kids. Obesity among children is an epidemic. Is it time maybe for the government to get involved, given the health risks?
Those menus sound like the White House Super Bowl menus.
They do, but that's once a year.
Right. You know, let me say, I don't have a problem with Michelle Obama being out there to promote awareness and talking about, you know, good food choices. I'm a very healthy eater. That's a personal choice on my part. What I don't want is the government, the First Lady, Congress having backdoor meetings with the National Restaurant Association. I don't want them pressuring private businesses, restaurants, to alter their menus, to change their recipes. I really want to speak to personal responsibility, and people need to learn, our kids need to learn, individuals need to learn that there are consequences to your actions. And
so do you, for example, agree in New York, if you walk into Starbucks and you want to get a donut or a scone or something, if there's going to be a little sign there in New York City, and it's going to tell you how many calories there are, the fat content, all the nutritional information, and then you can make the decision.
Yeah, that's fine by me. That's really fine. What I don't want is pressuring to change menus, to change recipes, things like that. I don't want the government forcing or putting intense pressure on private businesses to change their practices in some way. You know.
But Jedediah, she's Michelle Obama. She's not Tony Soprano. She's going into these meetings and making recommendations that are based on a much broader platform. I think that's within her purview as the First Lady, don't you?
I think that she, like I said, I don't have a problem with her being out there to promote awareness, but I think that the fine line of her involvement can get very fine.
Robert,
at what point does the government overstep its boundaries into parental territory as well?
I mean, that is part of the thing. You know, parents' rights, Robert, is something that we've heard about. Sarah Palin said Michelle Obama was trying to take dessert away from Americans. We're done all this.
Well, Chris, just two quick things. First and foremost, where was my invite for the Super Bowl? Because that menu was pretty well.
It did look good, didn't it?
It did. But look, secondly, this is a major debate that's happening in America today, and that is, look, it's perfectly legitimate for the First Lady to be able to say, you know what, using taxpayer dollars, we should be able to regulate or at least have a conversation about school lunches. However, to the other person's point about do we have the right to have small businesses out there or restaurants be dictated by the federal government? Look, it's a legitimate conversation that we're having in this country, and I applaud Michelle Obama for at least fostering this conversation nationwide.
Do you think she's being treated differently than former First Ladies, Robert? Although, I'm trying to remember. So I guess they mocked Just Say No, Mrs. Reagan for Just Say No.
Absolutely. Just Say No with Nancy Reagan, the Literacy Council when it came to Barbara Bush and 1,000 Points of Light. Hillary Clinton obviously got some pushback as it relates to Save America's Treasures in the late 1990s. There are a lot of conservatives out there that says, you know what, it's not the role of the federal government to preserve national treasures. That's what the private sector is for. And they pointed to Mount Vernon, which is run from a private organization. So every First Lady kind of runs into this uncharted territory, if you will, as it relates to living a more healthier life or more literate life.
Yeah, who said it?